What we were discussing in the last class? We're discussing about the Biot-Savart's law. Is it not? Biot-Savart's law and the examples. Correct? In continuation with that, let us study the applications of Biot-Savart's law. That is, first one is H bar due to infinitely long state conductor. I hope screen is visible, students. Screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the first application, H bar, that is magnetic field intensity due to infinitely long straight conductor. Consider the conductor along Z axis, which is infinitely long, which is ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity. The range of this conductor is from minus infinity to plus infinity. It is along the Z axis. And this infinitely long conductor is at a distance of small r from the point P. We are considering the point P at which we are finding the magnetic field intensity. This point P is at a distance of small r from this infinitely long straight conductor. This is similar to the derivation that we have already done in module 1, considering the infinitely long straight conductor, where we have found out the magnitude of the electric field intensity. Right there we found out the magnitude of electric field intensity in module 1. Here we will be finding the magnitude of the magnetic field intensity H bar, considering the same, that is infinitely long straight conductor, then finite straight conductor, and the similar other topics. Okay. Then the current flowing through this infinitely long straight conductor is I, that is the current that is flowing. We are considering the elemental length dl bar. We are considering the elemental length dl bar, and this elemental length dl bar, it's considered as the point 1. It is considered as point 1. The other point is the point 2, that is our point P at which we are finding the magnetic field intensity H bar. Okay. The distance vector from the, that is the elemental length to the point P, it is R12 bar. The distance vector from the elemental length to the point P, point 2, it is R12 bar, or the unit vector is AR12 bar. Okay. These are few of the details about the diagram. Let us now find out the equation for magnetic field intensity H bar. We will be deriving the equation here. Consider small differential element at point 1 along Z axis. Consider the small differential element at point P1 or point 1 along the Z axis, which is at a distance of Z, is at a distance of Z from the origin. This is our origin here. It is intersection of X, Y, and Z axis. From this origin to the point 1, the distance is Z. If it is Z, then along it is a Z bar direction, or along the Z axis, it is Z is the magnitude, unit vector is AZ bar, hence it is given by Z AZ bar. Z AZ bar is the vector which is representing the, that is elemental length from the origin. Okay. Distance vector joining point 1 to point 2. Distance vector joining the point 1 to point 2 is R12 bar. R12 bar, that is the distance vector here from this point 1 to point 2. And this R12 bar, it is given by, how to find this R12 bar here? R12 bar, this is the point P. We are finding the distance vector R12 bar. That is, this is along the direction from the elemental length towards the point P. That is our point of interest. Our point of interest is from the elemental length to the point P, point 2. Okay. That is the distance vector R12 bar, or AR12 bar is the unit vector. Then we are considering from the this point 1 to the origin, that is Z AZ bar. As our point is here, we have to move towards that point. That is, if we consider on the Z axis, we will be moving downwards. When we consider the Z axis, we will be moving downwards. This is from this point to this point, that is AR12 bar. Then here we are moving downwards towards the point P. Then RAR bar is also towards the point P. The magnitude is R here from this origin to point P. It's a perpendicular distance, and the vector is AR bar. Okay, it is the radial vector. radius vector AR bar. Hence the total vector is given by the magnitude on the unit vector, that is RAR bar. The distance R12 bar, it is given by the magnitude of this along Z axis is how much? Can you all tell me magnitude along Z axis? What is the magnitude along Z axis? The distance from point 1 to origin is how much? Yes, anybody? The distance from the point 1 to the origin is what? What is the distance?
DL bar, sir.
DL bar. Okay. So the DL bar is what now? It is along the Z axis. Is it not? That is Z, and the unit vector is AZ bar. So it is ZAZ bar. Correct? It is ZAZ bar. Similarly, come to from the origin to the point 2. From the origin to point 2, what is the distance? RAR bar. Is it not? It is RAR bar from the origin to point 2. Then we are finding R12 bar. It is a sum of from the point 1 to origin and from origin to point 2. Right? But here, when we consider the Z axis, see the direction of Z axis. This is pointing away X direction, Y direction, and Z direction. They are pointing away from the origin, X, Y, and Z. That is a normal convention. But when we consider this direction for the point P of our interest, it is moving in the downward direction. That means it is opposite to the normal convention. It is opposite to the normal convention of the Z axis. Hence, the magnitude will be plus or minus. Magnitude will be plus or minus ZAZ bar. Yes, magnitude is plus or minus. Yes, please. What I am telling is the distance from the point 1 to the origin, it is ZAZ bar. That is fine. But the direction is opposite to the normal direction of Z axis. So, what will be the polarity of ZAZ bar? Whether it is plus or minus? Sign of ZAZ bar. Minus, because it is opposite. Correct. It is opposite to the normal Z direction. Okay. That is R12 bar is equal to minus ZAZ bar plus RAR bar. That is equal to R12 bar. R12 bar equal to minus ZAZ bar plus RAR bar. That gives the magnitude of the distance vector R12 bar. If we want to find the unit vector along the R12 bar direction or along the direction from point 1 to point 2, that is AR12 bar, it is given by the vector divided by its magnitude. We know that always the unit vector is given by the vector divided by its magnitude. We know the magnitude vector, that is minus ZAZ bar plus RAR bar. I will write plus RAR bar first, minus ZAZ bar divided by its magnitude. Its magnitude is given by square root of R square plus minus Z square. That is nothing but square root of R square plus Z square. This is equation number 3. Next is we have to find the cross product of DL cross AR12 bar. The reason for finding the cross product is, if we look back at the Biot-Savart's law, Biot-Savart law, what we discussed in the previous classes, it is given by DH2 bar is equal to I1 DL1 bar cross AR12 bar divided by 4 pi R12 square. This is the equation for the magnetic field intensity. DH2 bar is I1 DL1 bar cross AR12 bar divided by 4 pi R12 square. Hence, I am finding DL cross AR12. DL cross AR12. DL cross the unit vector AR12. Okay. The cross product is given by DL cross AR12 bar. Write it in the determinant form. That is the cross product equation. It is in the determinant form. It is given by the coordinates, that is AR, A5, AZ. This is in the form of a cylindrical system because it is along the Z axis, right? It is along the axis of the cylinder, the Z axis. Hence, it is considered as the cylindrical system. The coordinates of cylindrical system, we know that they are R, phi, and Z. Therefore, it is AR bar, A5 bar, AZ bar. Then write the coordinates of DL bar. Write the coordinates of DL bar. What are the coordinates of DL bar? It has only Z axis. It is on the Z axis. Its X and Y will be 0. its x and y coordinates will be 0. It is 0 0 dz, 0 0 dz, small elemental length, it is dz. Then write the coordinates of AR12 bar unit vector. It is r divided by square root of r square plus z square. Then phi coordinate is 0, z coordinate is minus z upon square root of r square plus z square. But what is done here is, for convenience, it is just taken as r, then 0, then minus z. Here we are neglecting this square root of r square plus z square, but it will be considered later. In the next equations, it will be considered. We'll be simplifying without the denominator term, that is square root of r square plus z square. It is for convenience purpose, so that the calculations become simpler. Then here, if we simplify this determinant, if we solve this determinant, then we'll get this row will go and this column will go. So it is 0 into minus z is 0, minus 0 into dz is 0, then minus a5 bar, this row will go, this column will go, 0 into minus z is 0, minus r dz. Okay, so it is minus into minus, it is plus, minus a5 bar. Okay, it is this row and this column will go, this is 0, minus, so minus into plus, plus a5 r dz, a5 bar r dz. Then come to minus az bar, this is, sorry, plus az bar, this row will go, this column will go, 0 into 0 is 0, minus r into 0 is 0. Hence we got dl bar cross ar12 bar is equal to r dz a5 bar. Okay, take the steps up till here, students. Note down up till here. Is it taken?
Right, sir.
Okay. Is it over?
Yes.
Okay. In the next step, what we are doing is we are considering this square root of r square plus z square denominator term. That is the next equation. I dl bar cross ar12 bar. I dl bar cross ar12 bar. If we consider the I dl bar cross ar12 bar according to the Biot-Savart's law, this will be I multiplied with dl cross ar12, that is ir dz a5 bar. Ir dz a5 bar. Then the denominator, whatever we are left, that we'll be considering that will come into picture, that will be square root of r square plus z square. This is one way. Another way is you can consider this same in the determinant, that is Instead of what we are doing now, you can consider this term as r divided by square root of r square plus z square 0 and minus z divided by square root of r square plus z square. And if you solve it, you will get the same equation. Okay, you can just try out that, or you can neglect this here at this particular step, and then you can consider the same at the next equation. According to Biot-Savart law, dH bar at point 2, it is dH bar is given by IDL bar cross AR12 bar divided by 4 pi R12 square. IDL bar cross AR12 bar divided by 4 pi R12 square. This is the standard equation of the Biot-Savart law. This is equal to, here we have found out in equation 4, IDL cross AR12 bar, that is IR dz A5 bar divided by square root of R square plus Z square. And what is remaining? 4 pi is remaining. Multiply that 4 pi into R12 square, that is distance vector R12. We have found out that earlier. R12, it is given by square root of minus Z square plus R square. This is the distance vector. If we find out its magnitude, it will be square root of minus Z square plus R square. It is square root of R square plus Z square. Write it. This will be multiplied with square root of R square plus Z square, the whole square, because it is R12 square. R12 square, that is square root of R square plus Z square, the whole square. Simplify this further. IR dz A5 bar divided by 4 pi. This is R plus R square plus Z square raised to 1 by 2. R square plus Z square raised to 1 by 2. This is R square plus Z square, square root of R square plus Z square raised to 2. Therefore, how much it will be? 2 plus 1 by 2. This is square root. It is 1 by 2. Here it will be square root of R square plus Z square, the whole square. Square root and square will cancel. Correct? This is square root and square will cancel. We'll get only R square plus Z square. But here it is square root of R square plus Z square. So it is 1 plus 1 by 2. 1 plus 1 by 2 is equal to, what is 1 plus 1 by 2? 3 by 2.
3 by 2, sir.
Correct? Yes. It is 3 by 2. Therefore, this divided by 4 pi R square plus Z square raised to 3 by 2. Take it as equation number 5. Total field intensity H bar is obtained by integrating this dH bar. If we want the total integral, we have to integrate this over the entire length of the conductor. The length of the conductor is from minus infinity to plus infinity, because it is extending in the infinite direction along the Z axis from minus infinity to plus infinity. Take the limits. H bar is given by integration Z equal to minus infinity to plus infinity dH bar. This is equal to integral Z equal to minus infinity to infinity. Then it is IR dz A5 bar divided by 4 pi R square plus Z square raised to 3 by 2. I am integrating this term, that is dH bar term. Here we am considering a random function or random equation. Z is equal to R tan theta. Z is equal to R tan theta. Therefore, Z square will be equal to R square tan square theta. Z square will be equal to R square tan square theta, or dz is equal to, if I differentiate this Z, dz will be equal to R secant square theta d theta. Correct? Then put Z equal to minus infinity, lower limit. How much will be theta? If you put Z equal to minus infinity, what is the value of theta? Minus infinity, if you substitute here, it will be tan theta is equal to minus infinity. If tan theta is minus infinity, what is the tan inverse of minus infinity? Tan inverse of minus infinity is, we have discussed this in one of the classes, minus 90 degrees, minus pi by 2. That is theta is equal to minus pi by 2. Similarly, Z equal to infinity, if we substitute here, that is tan theta will be equal to plus infinity. Theta is equal to tan inverse of plus infinity. Tan inverse of plus infinity. When do we get infinity? When the denominator term is 0. So if we take sin 90 by cos 90, sin 90 is 1, cos 90 is 0. 1 upon 0 is plus infinity. Therefore, theta will be equal to plus pi by 2. Okay. Now substitute these limits here. H bar is equal to integral theta equal to minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Then write this inner term IR as it is. Then dz is given by dz r secant square theta d theta. Write it, r secant square theta d theta a phi bar divided by 4 pi r square plus z square. Z is r tan theta, z square is r square tan square theta. Substitute that r square tan square theta the whole raised to 3 by 2. If you simplify this, the integral from theta equal to minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 ir square secant square theta d theta a phi bar divided by 4 pi r square plus r square tan square theta the whole raised to 3 by 2. Take r square common. If you take r square common, it will be 1 plus tan square theta. R square multiplied with 1 plus tan square theta. Then take the power 3 by 2. R square raised to 3 by 2. 2 into 3 by 2. 2 and 2 will cancel, you'll get r cube. Correct? Then inner term is 1 plus tan square theta. 1 plus tan square theta is secant square theta. 1 plus tan square theta is secant square theta. Secant square theta raised to 3 by 2. Secant square theta raised to 3 by 2. 2 into 3 by 2. Again, you will get secant cube. Correct? The denominator term will be 4 pi r cube secant cube theta. Okay. Note down these steps, students, quickly. Is it over? Make it fast. Done?
Yes, sir.
Fine. The next equation will be the next simplification of this equation. That is integral theta equal to minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Here r square will cancel and r square will cancel. 1 r will remain in the denominator. secant square theta will cancel. 1 secant theta will remain in the denominator. We'll get I divided by 4 pi. I divided by 4 pi r secant theta. I divided by 4 pi r secant theta d theta a phi bar. D theta is here into a phi bar. That is I divided by 4 pi r integral theta equal to minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Take I by 4 pi r outside, it is a constant. 1 upon secant theta, it is cos theta. 1 upon secant theta is cos theta d theta a phi bar. I divided by 4 pi r, then differentiation of sin theta is cos theta, or integration of cos theta is sin theta over the limits minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 a phi bar. I divided by 4 pi r into sin pi by 2 minus of sin of minus pi by 2. Sin pi by 2 minus of sin of minus pi by 2, upper limit minus lower limit, into a phi bar. This comes out to I divided by 4 pi r. Sin 90 is 1, 1 minus of sin of minus 90 is minus 1. Hence we will get 2i divided by 4 pi r a phi bar. 2i divided by 4 pi r a phi bar, or h bar will be equal to I divided by 2 pi r a phi bar ampere per meter. If we want magnetic field density, flux density, that is B bar is equal to mu into H bar. This is the equation for the magnetic flux density in terms of magnetic field intensity. That is B is equal to mu H bar. Then H we know, substitute that, it will be mu I divided by 2 pi r a phi bar Weber per meter square. Okay. Note down the steps quickly, students. This is our final equation for the magnetic field intensity and for the magnetic flux density for the infinitely long straight conductor. Over, students. Make it fast. Done. Students, is it completed? Are you all here, students? Is it completed? Students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. This is one of the important questions. Many times it has been repeatedly asked in the examination. To find the magnetic field intensity due to infinitely long state conductor from the Biot-Savart's law. Okay, using the Biot-Savart's law, find the equation for magnetic field intensity due to infinitely long state conductor. Then next is h bar due to state conductor of finite length. We are considering a finite length conductor. Previously we considered the infinitely long state conductor whose range is from -infinity to +infinity. Now we are considering a finite conductor whose length is finite. Okay. Consider the finite length state conductor along the z-axis, which is varying from z1 to z2. Its finite length is from z1 to z2. Consider an elemental length I dl bar along this z-axis. Then it is at a distance, the point P, it is at a distance of small r from the origin, at which we are finding the magnetic field intensity. Here from point P to origin, it is distance r, small r. Then here we are finding three angles. We are noting down three angles. One is from the point P to the lower end of the conductor, then the conductor, then the upper end of the conductor. We are considering 3 points on the conductor. One is the lower end, then the actual conductor, then the upper end of the conductor. These points on the z-axis or the elemental length, they make an angle alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha. Okay, they are subtending an angle of alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha. Angle between the lower point and P2 is alpha 1. The angle between the upper point and the point P2 is alpha 2. The angle between the elemental length and the point P is alpha. Consider differential element dl bar along z-axis at distance z from the origin. Therefore, dl bar will be equal to dz az bar. Dl bar will be dz az bar, that is the elemental length. Its vector is dz az bar. Az bar is unit vector and the magnitude is dz. Unit vector in the direction joining differential element to point P. Unit vector joining the differential element, this differential element to the point P, this point P. It is AR12 bar. Here, this is the unit vector, AR12 bar, and it can be expressed as the same as we did for the previous derivation. It is same, that is minus z az bar plus AR bar, and this is the distance vector R12 bar. Hence, the distance vector R12 bar will be equal to, that is RAR bar minus ZAZ bar, similar to the previous derivation, what we did for infinitely long state conductor. The magnitude of unit vector is the vector divided by its magnitude, that is RAR bar minus ZAZ bar divided by square root of R square plus Z square. Is RAR bar minus ZAZ bar divided by square root of R square plus Z square. Take it as equation 2. Again, we are finding the cross product as we did for the previous derivation. It is DL bar cross AR12 bar. It will be same because this is R, this is minus Z. There also it was same. Okay, R by square root of R square plus Z square, then minus Z divided by square root of R square plus Z square. Then the coordinate of Z is also same. That is 0, 0 dz, right? That is for the DL bar, and we have AR, A5, AZ. Hence, the cross product is also same as that of the previous derivation. That is DL bar cross AR12 bar will be equal to R dz A5 bar. This is equation 3. Then we are finding I DL bar cross AR12 bar. I am multiplying with current I. That is I into R dz A5 bar. We had not considered this denominator term while finding the cross product. Now we have to consider that. Therefore, denominator will be square root of R square plus Z square. Take it as equation number 4. According to the Biot-Savart law, we know that dH bar at point P, dH bar at point P, this point here, it is given by dH bar is equal to I dl bar cross AR12 bar divided by 4 pi R12 square. That is I into dl bar cross AR12 bar, it is IR dz A5 bar divided by square root of R square plus Z square. And what is remaining? 4 pi is remaining, multiply with 4 pi R12, distance vector, right? It is square root of R square plus Z square, the whole square. If we simplify this, everything is same as that of the previous equation, only the limits are different. There the limits were from minus infinity to plus infinity. Here the limits are from alpha 1 to alpha 2. Only that is the change. The other all equations, what all we are getting, they are same as that of that for the infinitel long state conductor. IR dz d5 bar divided by 4 pi r square plus z square the whole raised to 3 by 2. Take it as equation 5. If we want total magnetic field intensity, we have to take the integral of this. That is, h bar will be equal to integral from z1 to z2. The lower end is z1, upper end is z2. Therefore, it is integral from z1 to z2. Integrate this term IR dz d5 bar divided by 4 pi into r square plus z square raised to 3 by 2. Take it as equation 6. Again, substitute the random function, random equation, z is equal to r tan alpha. Therefore, z square will be equal to r square tan square alpha. R square is equal to tan square r square tan square alpha, or dz is, differentiate this, we get r secant square alpha d alpha. R secant square alpha d alpha. If you put z equal to z1, that is lower end. Here lower end is z1, upper end is z2. For z equal to z1, z1 is equal to r tan alpha 1. That is, here if we take tan of alpha 1, okay, tan of alpha 1 if we take, that is z1 divided by r, or z1 is equal to r tan alpha 1. Write it, r tan alpha 1 from figure 1. Similarly, z equal to z2 if we substitute, then it is tan alpha 2. Tan alpha 2 is z2 divided by r. z2 divided by r. z2 divided by r, or r is equal to z2 tan alpha 2. It is z2 is equal to r tan alpha 2. Okay. Therefore, r alpha 1 comes out to tan inverse of z1 by r, and alpha 2 will be equal to tan inverse z2 by r. Take it as equation number 7. Now integrate. H bar is equal to, the limits will be changing here from z1 to z2. Instead of that, you will be getting alpha 1 to alpha 2, change of limits. That is alpha 1 to alpha 2 IR r secant square alpha, because that is what the equation we have got, IR dz. dz is r secant square alpha d alpha, r secant square alpha d alpha, a5 bar divided by 4 pi, then r square plus z square. Z square is how much? What is z square? It is this term. Here it is z. If we take z, okay, the total that from this point, the midpoint of the conductor, it is z is equal, tan alpha is equal to z divided by r. Z divided by r, or z is equal to r tan alpha. Z is equal to r tan alpha. Here we have to substitute for which one? R tan alpha. That is our term here. What we have got? Z square. So z square is r square tan square alpha square. R square, r square tan square alpha. Substitute that, r square tan square alpha, the whole raised to 3 by 2. Then the remaining is a simplification. Integral from alpha 1 to alpha 2. I r secant square alpha d alpha a5 bar divided by 4 pi. Take r square common, we'll get 1 plus tan square alpha in the inner term inside the bracket. R square raised to 3 by 2. Again 2 and 2 will cancel, we get r cube, right? R cube, and 1 plus tan square alpha is secant square alpha. Secant square alpha raised to 3 by 2. 2 and 2 will cancel, we'll get secant cube alpha. So it is in the denominator 4 pi r cube secant cube alpha. R in the numerator, r square in the numerator and r square in the denominator will cancel. 1 r will remain in the denominator. Secant square alpha in the numerator, secant cube alpha in the denominator will cancel, and we'll get 1 secant alpha in the denominator. Hence, it will be getting the term I d alpha a5 bar divided by 4 pi secant alpha r, secant alpha r, or I by 4 pi r if we take it outside, as it is a constant. Limits from alpha 1 to alpha 2, integral cos alpha 1 upon secant alpha is cos alpha d alpha a5 bar, I upon 4 pi r, integration of cos theta is sin theta, that is sin alpha over the limits alpha 1 to alpha 2 into a5 bar. That is h bar is equal to I by 4 pi r into sin alpha 2 minus sin alpha 1, sin alpha 2 minus sin alpha 1 a5 bar ampere per meter. Take it as equation 8. We have found out the equation for magnetic field intensity. Then next is finding the equation for the flux density, B bar or B. B is given by mu into H, or B bar is equal to mu H bar. We have found the equation for H bar. Substitute here in this equation for mu H bar. then we'll get mu into I by 4 pi r into sine alpha 2 minus sine alpha 1 9. Okay. So this is also one of the important derivations. Repeatedly it has been asked in examination to find the equation for magnetic field intensity H bar due to straight conductor of finite length. This is how the question may be asked in examination. That is, derive the equation for magnetic field intensity H bar due to straight conductor of finite length. Right? This is almost same as our previous derivation, except the last step where we are integrating, that is different. Only the limits will change. Other parts will remain same as that of the infinite long straight conductor. Is it no? So in today's class, students, we have taken up two derivations. One is H bar due to infinitely long straight conductor. We have derived the equation for magnetic field intensity as H bar is equal to I by 2 pi r A phi bar ampere per meter, and B bar is equal to mu H bar, it is mu I divided by 2 pi r A phi bar Weber per meter square. These are the equations for the infinitely long straight conductor. And when we consider the finite long straight conductor, the equation for H bar will be I by 4 pi r into sine alpha 2 minus sine alpha 1 A phi bar. Then B bar is mu I by 4 pi r into sine alpha 2 minus sine alpha 1 A phi bar Weber per meter square. Okay. In the next class, we will take up the sign convention of this equation, whatever we have got here, H bar and B bar equation sign convention. Okay. When alpha 1 and alpha 2 are positive, what will happen? When both are negative, what is the convention? And when one is positive and another one is negative, what will be the convention? That we will take up in the next class. Okay. And then we'll go for the other derivations. Right. Any difficulties here, students, in these two derivations? Any problem in understanding? Any difficulty, students? Any problem in understanding? Did you all understand here? Students, Karthik, is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine. Janvi, is it understood?
Yes.
Derivations. Okay. Abhishek, any difficulty here? Abhishek?
No, sir. Understood, sir.
Okay. What about other students? I hope it is clear to everyone. Sai Prakash? Sai
Yes, sir.
Prakash?
Clear.
Clear? Fine. Okay. Srishal? Srishal Matpati? Understood, Srishal? Any problem in understanding?
So understood, sir.
Understood. Okay. Suraya Banu?
Yes, sir.
Derivations are clear. Any questions here? Suraya Banu?
No, sir. No questions.
Okay, fine. Then we'll continue in the next class. Okay. Thank you.